we are live on Facebook. Welcome to the Business LA podcast, episode number 2. We are here. Let me just go ahead and switch the cameras here. Welcome, everybody, to the show. This is the Business Podcast, Business LA number 2. We are joined by myself, Carlos Flores, the host of the show. We are also joined by Luis Benitez, creative director. And we have a special guest today, Carlos Flores from, go ahead and say where you're from.
Hey guys, this is Carlos Flores with Finance of America Mortgage.
Go ahead and move the mic over, talk right into the mic.
How's that right there?
There you go. All right, so let me go ahead and switch this over. So basically, thank you guys again for joining us. We're going to be talking about the same thing we kind of talked about last time, but we want to get everyone's kind of different perspective on what we're going to be, experiences and stuff like that. So were you able to watch our last episode?
Yeah, the one with Mike Yoki?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Excellence himself.
Yeah, it was a good episode. Go ahead and turn the mic right so it's right facing in front of you.
Right there?
Yeah, right there.
Gotcha.
All right, so give me a little bit about a background. Let's let everybody know a little bit about yourself.
Who Carlos Flores is?
Who Carlos Flores is.
All right, well, I'm the branch manager at Finance of America Mortgage. We are located in Covina, California. We just opened up an office here in Downey, local. I've been in the mortgage business now for over 26 years. Got in the business back in 1992, right after I got out of the Marine Corps. So I served in the Persian Gulf War. And right after I got out of the military, I was like, well, now what do I do? So that's how I kind of ended up in this business. I didn't want to go back into hard labor type activities. I used to install carpets when I was right out of high school, and I'm like, no, this isn't for me. Day one, I got into this business. I fell in love with it, and I've been doing this since. So it's a great business to be in. Nice.
And did you have any kind of mentor that got you into this business, or anyone that kind of showed you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? When I first got into this business, like a lot of real estate agents and loan officers are going to know, back in the old days, we didn't have emails, we didn't have computers. Some of us didn't have cell phones, so it was just you got business cards and a kick in the ass, really. That's how you started in the business. Go out and get the business. So we really didn't have a lot of good training like they do now. We didn't have really good mentors back then. And so we struggled a lot. There was no internet back then, no YouTube. So I was lucky enough to work under a mentor. He was a top producer in the office, and I think he took me under his wing because he saw how I was struggling. And I was there in the office early in the morning, late afternoon, and I was always there late although I didn't have any business back then, I knew that the top producers were always working at night. I think it's still the same way nowadays. You're always going to see the top producers in the morning and in the evenings. The part-timers sometimes come in the evenings, but they noticed that I was always there. But I was always there trying to see how I can help. But I was really learning. I was trying to figure out what they were doing, how they talk to clients, that's how I wanted to learn. And this gentleman, his name was Ray Diaz, a really good guy, and he took me under his wing as an assistant, and I worked with him for about 3 years. I learned everything from him. We did a lot of volume, so I learned because of his volume, not so much with mine. And after 3 years, he's like, dude, you're ready to go on your own. He kicked me in the ass. And he's like, it's time to spread your wings because I can't pay you anymore. You know more than most loan officers here. And since then, I've kind of done the same way. So people that come work for me, I do the same thing as assistants. They learn, they go out. Some of them have become brokers, business people. And it's great seeing people that used to work for you gotten a lot bigger, and made it a career. So it's pretty cool.
Nice. And just to let you guys know, we are live. So if you have any comments, either if you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching on Instagram Live, go ahead and leave comments. If you have any questions for Carlos as far as, anything about the business or anything you might want to know about managing people, anything like that, feel free to leave a comment. And when if it comes up, we'll address it. Yeah. And are you checking the Instagram Live?
No, phone's over here.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me get you the...
That's crazy, Carlos. So, so you said he pretty much mentored you for 3 years, huh?
He did, and actually, kind of didn't want to. He never had an assistant before, and I think I filled a lot of voids that he had. He wasn't very organized. He didn't have a Rolodex for a lot of you people. That was our database back then.
I remember that.
His way of keeping organized was he had a calendar, like those calendars that the title reps give you.
Yeah.
And he would just write phone numbers. So when he would call me, he would ask for a phone number from somebody, and he'd tell me, "Hey, look in June, top left corner, and that's the phone number." And the guys, and that's how he would keep track of his clients, which was really bad. So I kind of helped him organize. I was into computers a little bit back then, and I got him a little organized. And it got to the point where he didn't even know who his clients were. I was taking the applications, I would sign loan documents for them, and he'd come in and he wouldn't even know who the clients were, because that's how good I got, because I was just doing a lot of his work. And I've realized now I'm starting to do that too with my team. My team's gotten so good that I don't even know. They just handle it from start to finish. I've delegated as much as I can. So I tell people I've almost delegated myself out of a job, and that's one of the things that I give back. You know, being in this business this long, you want to repay. You know, like what they did for me. They gave me the opportunity, and now I try to give the same opportunity to assistants that work for me.
Nice. And how many people do you have on your staff that you manage?
In the office, we have in my Covina branch, I have 24 people. On my team, I have 5. So and they rotate. Sometimes, like I have a couple of people that are ready to go. Probably in the next 6 months, they're going to go on their own and be top producers. So it's definitely the best way. If you're new in this business and you want to excel in this business, find a mentor. Find somebody that's making it and copy them. I tell people, there's no secret in this business. There really isn't. Everybody said there's a secret sauce somewhere. There isn't. It really, go to any library and there's millions of books that say get rich quick, right?
Yeah.
There's really no formula. It's just work hard, you know.
Exactly.
And if you want to take shortcuts, follow mentors. Find somebody that makes more money than you. Find somebody that you want to emulate, and then just copy them.
It's kind of like what Gary Vee says, where he says, don't worry about instant gratification. Think about the long term. Think about the long goal. Think about the end term. Don't think about, just I want to get rich quick, but what happens after?
Yeah.
So one thing you didn't mention about yourself also, too, is you're a huge barbecue person.
Yeah.
I mean, since the first day that we met, and guys, he just opened up his office in Downey. It's super nice office. If anybody's out there looking to join your team, definitely leave a comment, contact us. We can put you in contact with Carlos. A beautiful office down there.
Yeah, and they got some nice desks too.
Oh yeah, they got the desks that go up and down, so they're ergonomic. So, if you get tired of sitting down, you get to stand up.
Yeah.
So tell me, what would you consider your managing style, or what do you feel is more successful compared to something else?
For me, I think it would be more lead by example. I'm a producing manager, so I just, since I got into the business, I always had really bad managers. I hate to say this, and maybe some of you guys on this cast can relate with me. I'd have a manager where I'd go into his office and I would wait for half an hour until he got off the phone. As soon as he got off the phone, I had a question for him. He'd get back on the phone. And I would just end up walking out and
I haven't had those before.
And learn on my own, because I had no type of support. So I remember those things. And what I try to do with the loan officers that work for us, we set times. I'll set, I can't be firefighting, like I said. You can't be firefighting and expect to produce. So what I do is I set my schedule. Like there's certain hours during the day that a loan officer can come in and talk to me, or my operations manager, and say, hey, I'm having struggled with this file. How can I help? So, and it's always better in the evenings too, when I'm always there. So they know kind of when to come in and ask me the questions. But it's always lead from the front. If I'm not producing, how can I expect my loan officers to produce? So I'm there. If they want some tools on, I tell them, copy anything I do. If you copy what I do, you're going to do just fine.
Tell me about a success story that you, like, it was a huge triumph, whether it was in business or personal.
Ooh, we have those every month, almost on a daily basis. You mean as in like clients, or
it could be client, or it could be personal. You worked out for something and then got into something, or anything like that.
Yeah, you know what I think right now. Probably most recent success story is one of the guys that's on my team right now. hate to brag about him because I know if he listens to this, he's gonna, his head's gonna get even bigger than that. But I think he does deserve the credit. He says he's my mini-me because day one, this guy used to door knock and sell soft water, those softeners.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's what he used to do out in like the Inland Empire. And he came on board. He was referred by one of my agents, and I honestly didn't think he was gonna. Everybody says they want to be in the business. I always just give them the website. Here, start learning how to do this business. And he actually did it. Within a month, he was licensed. And he's been with me a year now exactly. And he's ready to go on his own. I mean, he's closing more transactions than full-time loan officers. Dang. And everybody thinks that I give him the leads. I give him none. He is on his own. On the weekends, he's working hard. He's doing open houses, meeting real estate agents. He really is doing what I tell him to do. And that's a big problem that a lot of us that have been in the business a long time, we stop listening. We think we know it all. And he was so new, I told him, this is what you're going to do, and he did it. And now he's closing more transactions than the full-time guys. He works for me from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock. After 6 o'clock, it's his time, and that's when he starts banging on the phones. Weekends, he does open houses, and he's building his business because he knows what he wants. So he's going to be like a superstar pretty soon.
That is awesome.
He already is.
Yeah, I mean, with that mentality, that work ethic, I mean, anything you do, you're going to be super successful.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, what questions do you have, Luis?
It's like your whole, because I know that you were in the military, right? You were in the Marine Corps. How was that experience, and how do you think that kind of changed your mindset on how you view things, or what exactly do you learn in the Marine Corps?
It's discipline. For one, it's military. I think is by far the best. I mean, hands off to any veterans that are out there. I'm still very involved with veteran organizations. In fact, I was at a meeting last night with some Marines, and we have a great camaraderie that we connect. We're brothers. It's a brotherhood, and it doesn't matter what branch. We love everybody, but they're putting their life on the line, and they definitely deserve props. What I experienced, definitely was the coming out of boot camp. I mean, it's super disciplined when you come out. You see the world a lot different. Before I went in the military, I honestly didn't know. I was going to college a little bit, but I was there just for the girls, to be honest with you. I really wasn't there to learn anything, and I knew I had to do something different. When I got in there, I mean, I learned skills that I would never have learned. I mean, life skills. I traveled, parts around the world that no 18 or 19-year-old now you can even imagine. So it was a great experience. You definitely become worldly when you're out there. And the relationships that you build, there's still friends of mine that I see 30 years later. Like last night, I hung out with 6 guys that we served together. We were in battle together, and we still connect with each other. So. But on the business side, I think it's the discipline, getting in early, not having to worry about a 9 to 5. In the military, there is no 9 to 5. You work until the work gets done. And that's the kind of attitude that I have even in this business. I work until the work gets done.
That's great, man. I love that. That just by itself just gets me pumped up, because I feel like, it takes time to get, that mindset and, wanting to, be successful. And a lot of people, mislead that. They think they want to take the easy route, or, even finding a mentor. Like, all those things help out, but it's just like, if you're really shaped and mentally ready to go out and, and get your money, because,
No, absolutely.
So one thing that we really like to talk about is, because the whole reason how we met you is, besides the barbecue, because we're going to get to that, but is social media. Because you said a lot of the older ways people are stuck in it, and they don't want to catch up with using social media, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah. What is your take on using social media?
It's a necessity. I just had a meeting earlier with my loan officers, and I told them there's a couple of loan officers that they still don't have Facebook accounts. They're still old school, and I tell them, I know as much as you don't like to use it, it's a necessity. Our clients are on Facebook, are on Instagram, on Twitter, and they're looking for us. If they see our name posted anywhere, they're like, let me see a little bit more about this person. So they're looking, and that's just kind of like your resume, really, what you're putting out there. So that's one thing I tell my staff in my loan office: be careful what you put out there. You know, there's so many things, pictures that I see out there that's very inappropriate for our business. Clients are on there. They don't want to see you. You know, I had this person that actually wanted me to hire him. And you know, we do our due diligence, and there was pictures with him with strippers on his lap, and
That's great.
it's all fun, but you know, people are, you know, they're looking for stuff like that. HR companies.
Oh yeah, huge.
Yeah, and so you have to be careful with social media, but I honestly, you know, believe in it highly.
You know, our strategy is we try to come up with like a very strategic plan. We coach a lot of people, and it's funny because two of the major things that we find out as we're coaching and we're talking to people is, one, you need to update your picture because it hasn't been, you know, the last time you took was 1980.
Yeah.
And you don't look like that anymore. And two, these girls are taking these selfies at the clubs and using them on their business cards.
Yeah.
And on their Facebook pages. And it's like you have to exude a certain amount of professionalism because, you know, you're a real estate agent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thinking from the mindset of a woman, like if your real estate agent is like this and has pictures wearing bikinis, is your wife going to want you to do business with her? Probably not.
Absolutely.
She's going to be like, why you want to do business? Get someone else. Get that old guy over there.
Yeah.
How can I put it?
Is that true, Vanessa?
Is that true?
Is that true?
That is
Yeah.
So when it comes to being successful, what platforms do you use on social media right now? And what do you think is the most important on each platform?
You know, I mostly use Facebook only because I know a lot of people are using Instagram, and I'm barely getting into Instagram. I don't use Twitter. I know you said that we should be using Twitter.
Definitely.
But I think Facebook mostly because that's where it's just easier. It's easier to post on there. The learning curve is a lot easier, to be honest with you. And that's where we get home buyers, you know, and real estate agents are posting videos on there.
Nice.
Yeah. No, yeah, I also agree that Facebook is one of the, you know, better platforms just because you're able to share work, your family, your friends could share a bunch of, you know, of your stuff, and that's just more exposure, and that's exactly what we need is exposure.
Do we have any comments on Instagram Live or anything?
Yes, you guys do.
Yes, you do. One of your friends,
Start from the top.
let's see, Isa says, "Hi, Carlos."
Oh,
Oh.
No, there's
hello.
another one.
Which one?
There's more.
Let's see. I think after a couple like minutes, it refreshes.
It refreshes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk about the military, that she was glad that he's in the military, that he served his time in the military.
I know. I think that's huge. Like, I think that's huge. The fact that, you know, especially being a business owner, we've worked with some businesses where they're in the military, and I think a lot of people take on to that because thank you for your service, especially.
Appreciate it.
You know, because not everybody would be able to do that, and I think that's really important when it comes to business because I think that actually does help out your business as well, right? Because you got a lot of people supporting that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have, I average maybe 2 to 3 VA loans a month. So I actually have to be a VA veteran, expert, right? Mm-hmm. So I've made it a point to be an expert in that type of loan. And that's why it's like veterans know, it's like that relationship, you know, you trust another veteran. And that's why they kind of, I don't want to say they flocked to me. I wish they did, but they connect, you know.
It's because they understand there's a connection there.
Absolutely, yeah.
A strong connection too, because that's just memories, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about the barbecue now, because that's something that I've been wanting to talk about. So
Barbecue time.
if you guys don't know, Carlos is a barbecue judge.
I am.
Like this guy.
Yeah. KCBS.
Certified barbecue judge. So if he ever goes over your house, just step away from the grill because
Yeah.
Watch it.
So I'm gonna just shoot out some questions to you.
Sure.
Ribs, boiled, not boiled.
Oh, that's terrible. Don't ever boil ribs. That's terrible.
Dry rub or wet rub.
Dry.
24 hours in the fridge or 12 hours in the fridge.
You mean before you start smoking them?
Mm-hmm.
I actually got it down to where I don't even have to. I only, I used to do 24 hours before, and I got it down to where I just literally I unwrap them, I put the rub on, and I put them on the smoker within half an hour, and they taste the same.
So what makes a good barbecue? I think that a lot of people, because I'm
It's the
a
magic
huge. I don't know what camera to look at. Okay, I'm a huge barbecue person. Like I get the greatest enjoyment out of cooking and smoking meat. So anybody that's out there, listen to this, that's enjoying barbecue, listen to what makes a good barbecue. Go ahead, Carlos.
So the big misconception in barbecue, especially ribs, is it's got to be falling off the bone, right? We all hear that, and I actually used to think that, and actually that's not a good thing when you're judging barbecue. It shouldn't be falling. It shouldn't fall off the bone. It actually, when we're judging, you actually have to just take one bite, and it should not fall off the bone. But there shouldn't be any tug though. So it's got to be soft enough where you can actually bite into it and see the teeth marks almost. The other thing too is the look. When you present the barbecue, we're looking at the look as well. If it looks good and enticing, you're going to get good points. If it doesn't look, if it looks sloppy and it doesn't look enticing, obviously you're going to lose points. But the tug and also the texture, so it can't be rubbery. You know, and when you boil ribs, you're gonna get that
rubbery. Yeah, I went to someone's house and they were boiling.
Kind of like imagine that. I like that.
I went to someone's house and I was like, "What are you doing?" Like, don't
How dare you?
You insult me, sir. I'm getting hungry just talking about it. I'm thinking about it.
Do you remember that time when Carlos made some chicken strips, or what exactly was it? It was
they were Cornish hens.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I grilled up some Cornish hens on the grill.
Super good.
Yeah.
And
but it needed some barbecue sauce.
This guy, before tasting the chicken, he puts barbecue sauce all over it.
It was the Seal's barbecue sauce, dude. It's really good.
Here's another bad thing that I'm going to tell you guys that I've learned. Barbecue sauces, ketchup. The reason why it was invented, as you guys know, back in the old days, they didn't have refrigeration. So they had to have a piece of meat last a little bit longer. So it starts to smell after 3 to 4 days. So sauces were created to hold back the odor.
Oh.
So now you're eating meat that was like a week or 2 weeks old. They had to put a lot of barbecue sauce on it in order for you to consume it. So that's where the sauces come from.
That is crazy.
So are you saying my meat's old, Luis?
Yeah, man. You gotta once you cook it, man, start eating it. Don't save it, bro.
So any barbecue restaurant that you guys go to, I don't want to say names, Lucille. If it has a lot of barbecue sauce on it, there's a problem. The reason why they have to put a lot of barbecue sauce is because they have to hydrate it back. It's too dry, or it might be a couple of days old. I hate to tell you guys that.
See, that's why you have a judge that barbecue's really good barbecue around.
Yeah,
I think we should start like a group where we just walk around in suits with sunglasses, walk in, taste a piece of barbecue, and then you just look at them and like,
taste my barbecue.
And then you just walk away like, no, sir.
but the hardest part about this is that I can't go to any ribs place anymore. Because I'm a judge, so I start judging.
It's like number 5. It's 5.
It's kind of like with us when it comes to movies. Since we do a lot of filming and stuff, like instead of enjoying the movie, we're breaking down the movie. Like, oh my god, look at that shot, that angle. Oh, look at the way they colored it. It's like just enjoy the damn movie.
Yeah, Carlos would like pause the TV, like, hey Luis, what do you think about that? Just play the movie. Man. Like,
and my wife's like, why do you even try? Just make your own ribs because it's just better. So.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. And talking about wives, how important do you think it is? And I asked Mike the same question. Mm-hmm. How important do you think it is when it comes to you running a business or running your own business or any of the case, having the support of the other person?
It's huge. It's definitely huge. I've been very, very fortunate. I'm going to be married 17 years in November. With my wife.
Congratulations!
Thank you. That's crazy. And without her support, there's no way I would be able to do what I do. The tough part about our business is that 50% in our industry have a divorce. Including myself. This is my second time around. But I think what helped was my wife was already in the business when I met her. She was actually a loan officer. And hi, Christine. And she was, totally understanding. She knows why I'm working late. She knows where I'm at. And I get home, I vent, and she knows exactly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about this loan didn't fund on time like it should have. And, so it really does help. And worst case, she would definitely be able to even come into the office and take over if anything were to happen. So
that is awesome.
That's the great thing about her. She has she's been a real estate broker since 1989. Right out of college, so she's got a wealth of experience. And but she was a loan officer when I met her. She actually came to work for us, and that's how we connected. We were both single, started dating, and here we are.
And she ate your barbecue, and that was it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She had a rib and said, "I got to lock this guy down."
Well, I only started cooking like 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. So it's when I bought my first smoker, I started cooking, and that was like the best thing that could have happened to her.
Yeah.
Because now on the weekends I cook, and some of the leftovers she uses for the kids during the week. So she'll make sandwiches, and from the leftovers. My kids are spoiled, man. They're eating ribeye tacos, like on Monday. So
Ribs for breakfast.
Yeah.
Steak and eggs.
Yeah.
See, that's why I love this girl behind me. She'll surprise me sometimes, and she'll bring me meat to cook. But she'll also bring the beer because she knows that I like to sit outside and drink beer while I'm eating.
Yeah.
So she'll be like, "I bought some steaks, but I also bought you your beer. Go outside and cook." And I'm out there by myself just cooking. Like, remember like 2 weeks ago when it was like super hot?
Yeah, like 112, 13 out there.
I was out there grilling because I had some fat steaks, and I was over there just happy as a camper, sweating, drinking beer, and grilling. So it was awesome. This is a very interesting question for me, and this is one question I'm going to ask on every episode, just to kind of get people's perspective. What does success mean to you?
Good question.
Great question. I think success means something different to everybody, because success, to me, is not something that you accomplish. It's a journey. It's something that there's always going to be successes. Every single day that when we wake up, it's a success, right? When you close that transaction, it's a success. When you make $100,000, you're successful. But it's not all about the money. For me, it's having a great family, having a great wife, having great kids. We all struggle with family, with our kids. Maybe their grades aren't great. Now we're looking at them as if they fail, and we're not going to be successful. So we push them. We want them to be successful. So I think to me, it's just a journey. Spending time with your family. Of course, monetary helps, right? But it's not all about money. There's a great show on Netflix. I would definitely highly recommend everybody watch. It's called Happy. It's right on Netflix. And it talks about people being happy, what they think is successful. And to us, unfortunately, in our country, it's all about the money.
Yeah.
We want to stay, keep up with the Joneses. And some of these countries, these people make $1 a day, and they're happy. Like, why are they happy? So I think, to me, it's always going to be a journey. Getting old is a success, right? I guess that would be my answer.
And the question that I had, sorry, I kind of blanked out for just a quick second.
That was a crazy answer. That was cool.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about happy and all the things.
I got deep real quick.
What advice would you give someone that's wanting to start their own business, or in the other case, if they wanted to become loan officers and go work for you? What advice would you give them?
One of the things that, and I know a lot of motivational speakers talk about this, and it is so true. It's not about motivation. You have to educate yourself. I tell my loan officers, you need to learn to earn. If you're not reading books every day, you're not going to get anywhere. Learn if you want to get successful at anything. Pick up books on the subject and read them and get successful. That's really what it is. It just became a habit for me. Every morning I read a book. Sometimes I'm reading up to 5 different types of books. So I'll read a chapter one day, and next day I'll read another chapter from another book. So I'm always trying to pick up something. It definitely, you have to read in order to succeed in this business.
I agree. What books are you what book are you reading right now?
Right now I'm reading a book. It's called The 7 Decisions. So I just started the book a couple of days ago, but it's the author is Andy Andrews. And it's a great book. It talks about 7 things that we all have to do. And I'll just tell you, number 1 is own it. Own your decisions. Where they say that buck stops here.
Yeah.
Right? Take responsibility for your actions. A lot of people blame their history, their past. Oh, I'm not successful because of this, because of the way I was raised, or because where I grew up, or my mommy didn't take care of me very well. So they blame everything from their past. Stop blaming your past and think of it today and move forward. So take responsibility. Everybody wants to point the finger at, oh, my manager, I'm not succeeding in my office because my manager doesn't pat me on the back.
It's excuses.
So what? It's like, pat yourself on the back, you know?
Yeah.
You know what one of my managers used to say to me
Really
when I was working somewhere, and then I was doing like, so we had to get 12 certain or something, and I was like, oh, I'm already 11. He's like, what, you want me to be happy because you're doing your job? You know?
Yeah,
But-
I was talking to a top producer yesterday out here in the area, and that's what he was kind of bringing up too. He's like, he went on Facebook how people are bragging about, oh, I closed the loan, or oh, I just closed this transaction. He goes, well, aren't you supposed to do that? That's your job. Why are you posting that?
It's like they get all excited, like that's what's supposed to happen.
So yeah, and coming from a marketing kind of looking at that, it shouldn't be, oh, look what I closed, look what I closed. It should be, look who I helped, look who
That's right.
who I was able to get into a home, look who I was able to give an opportunity.
Yeah.
That's the way you should be pitching it. It shouldn't be like, oh, look what I closed. It's all ego.
Yeah, absolutely.
And guys, I mean, if you're looking to get into a good career, and he needs people in his office, he just opened in Downey. It's a beautiful office. I mean, really
Yeah, thanks.
cool stuff. Like, we're going to be working closely with Carlos on his marketing, and he has this TV with this little camera where we could be conferencing with the other office as well. We're going to be teaching classes and stuff. So it's such a cool place. If you're ever thought about, do you guys get new people that want to learn, or you get people that already had license?
Yeah, we actually have both. Like I was telling you, some of the people we take on as assistants, and that's the best way for them to learn if they're hungry. That's one of the challenges that we have is we hire some people and they think they're hungry and they just want 9-to-5 jobs. This is a career. This isn't a 9-to-5. This is something that you really want to succeed in. Our income is unlimited, in real estate and in loans. I mean, I have people that I know personally that are making $2.5 million doing loans. So it's unlimited what we make. But you have to put the time. It's not going to get handed to you and expect that you're going to be rich.
Yeah.
You got to learn. You got to read. You got to put in the time. But I mean, we have all the tools to make it a little bit easier. Just a little bit about Finance of America. I didn't even mention my company. Finance of America. It's a new name, but the company is pretty big. We actually came in number 7 in the country in total volume.
Wow.
It's a national company. We're in all 50 states. And I've been with the company before we had the name change. It used to be called Pinnacle Capital. So we were part of Pinnacle Capital since 2010. So we've been with the company for a few years, and it's by far, I think, one of the best companies I've worked for in 26 years because of all the tools they provide and the support that they have. Is it a perfect company? No company is going to be perfect. Everything's going to have a little bit of glitches, but what I love about the company is if there's an issue, we always try to fix it. There's always that type of support. When I wanted to open up the office in Downey, I didn't have loan officers yet, and they're like, "Open it, Carlos, because I know that you're gonna fill it up, and they want you to succeed. They give you all the tools to succeed."
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So you heard it, guys. I mean, there's spaces available, beautiful office. Be a part of something that's going to be huge because, I mean, the company is huge. I see everybody that works with you, really knowledgeable. I mean, we went to the office in Covina, beautiful office,
Really
by the
nice
way.
people, too.
Yeah, really nice, beautiful office. So we're going to be shooting a commercial there. You just be on the lookout for that because it's going to be such a beautiful commercial because just the way everything looks and the aesthetics of it, and
Right.
it's amazing. And
It's very impressive when we have clients come in. I mean, the office sells itself.
Yeah.
And that was the look that we wanted. We want clients, as soon as they come in, they know it's legit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It looks like a little broker shop. It's legit.
Yeah, it's a high tech. It's very high tech office when you walk in there. Like that's the thing. Me and Luis walked in and we're like, whoa! Like our minds started going like, okay, we can start filming this. We can start filming this. We can start filming
We're
this.
gonna start right here with the camera. We're gonna get the subject here, and
I think sometimes
Carlos
people
was like really excited.
Yeah, I think sometimes people think we're crazy because the moment we walk in, we're like doing this, and we're like, yeah, we could do this, and we can move around, and we can and they're looking at us like, who the hell are these guys? But it's something we're passionate about, and working and stuff like that. It makes it easy to do our job because we got so much content we can film around and make it very interesting.
No, yeah, the look and feel is there already. So I mean, yeah, we're really, really excited to get some content and start promoting the place. It's a nice place.
So what would you say was your goal be before the end of the year with the new office?
I want to fill it. I need 3 loan officers in that office. We have enough space even for a top like a team. If there's a team that wants to come on board, we have the facility for them. And it really close. I mean, we're right here on Florence and Lakewood. Really, I mean, in the heart of Downey. It's right by the old McDonald's. So if you guys are looking into maybe talking and thinking of making a switch, just give us a call.
Awesome. Well, that's going to be it for the show because this thing is only a 30-minute show. But I do want to thank you so much for coming in today and talking and sharing your experiences and your views and for us to get to know you a little bit more. And you have any closing statements, Luis?
Well, yeah. Thanks, Carlos, for making time for us, and we're really, really excited to be working with you.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. See you guys next time. We'll be here next week. We don't know who we're going to be interviewing yet, but it's going to be another great show. We're going to keep on doing this every Thursday. Business LA, live on Facebook, live on Instagram TV, and more to come. See you guys later.